We've gone late here. I'm surprised you haven't started yawning yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. Well, don't start too soon. Michigan at Nebraska. Michigan favored in this one by 2.5. Nebraska, very good team. They have destroyed teams. They have allowed, I believe, the least amount of passing yards per game, 66 passing yards per game. Bryce Underwood comes in on the road once again. Biff Poggi, the head
Mm.
coach of Michigan, while Sharon Moore serves his suspension. Biff Poggi and Michigan still favored in this one. Like I said, 2.5 on FanDuel. I am very intrigued by this game. The Illinois-Indiana game will have the most attention from me, but this one is a very close second because this game means a lot for both teams, right? Michigan kind of in a state right now where you're not really sure, what is Sharon Moore going to do with this team? Are they going to fully unleash Bryce Underwood? Biff Poggi says he has the green light in his press conference this week to just kind of do whatever. I don't think it was a great idea to announce that, but it's Biff Poggi. He just kind of says what he wants to say, which I also think is great. I would love if Biff Poggi was the head coach at Michigan because that would be awesome. You get some really good quotes from him. But I think this Nebraska team is different, Zach. I said I wouldn't believe in them, but gosh darn it, Matt Rule has me believing in this Nebraska team. This Nebraska team has me believing in them.
Hmm.
Bryce Underwood is also really good, though. And if he has the green light to run around, Sorsby ran around all over too. But this Nebraska team has had a really good secondary this season, albeit they faced Houston, Christian, and Akron in addition to Cincinnati, where Brendan Sorsby is not the best passer out there, but he's really good with his legs. This is going to be a really, really interesting game. I have no idea how it's going to go. I'll make a pick at the end, but overall, I am leaning one side over the other, but I'm curious your thoughts on the game, the matchups, things like that. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think it's hard, going back to the Oklahoma Michigan game. I wonder how much different that game is if Underwood was allowed to run. And I
Are we
think
sure
I'm
he wasn't allowed to run though?
hit 3 carries.
I mean, but was it freshman nerves?
I don't know. It could have been, but I just found it odd. I thought the difference in that game more than anything else was Mateer running versus Underwood not. No called runs. Like it was a really odd game plan. And I mean, Poggi kind of just coming out and saying what he's going to do. It's like, we're going to run the quarterback. Okay, well that's in play now. So
Well, I don't know if they're going to run the quarterback. I think Bryce Underwood is going to run. Because that's been the thing, right? They've not necessarily run Underwood all that much, but the last game, they just kind of let him take off and go.
yeah, yeah, I think that just intrigues me
Mm-hmm.
of what what are they going to do with him? I will say on the other side, I am very curious to see how this Michigan secondary holds up against Nebraska's receiving core because their receiving core is legit too with Key and Barney and Hunter and a couple of really good tight ends, right? Luke Lindenmeyer, Henrik Harburg is kind of utility guy that they can kind of put all over the field. They haven't really unleashed him much yet. I don't know if they will, but you have a lot of weapons that you can really draw from here. So I
But I think Michigan has a lot of weapons on defense too, right? Jayshon Barham, Derek Moore has not exactly been the pressure machine that we thought he would be this season, but you look at PFF, he still has a pretty good win rate. He's just not getting to the quarterback very much. So does that
Yep.
change in this one? I think the biggest thing that makes me feel confident in Nebraska in this game is Nebraska's offensive line. I'm with you with the
Mhm.
skill players and stuff, but Nebraska's offensive line has been fantastic this season. Again, not great competition, but even against Cincinnati, I don't think it's crazy to say that Cincinnati's defensive tackle, Dante Corleone, would be the best player on this Michigan defensive line.
Mm.
I think Michigan's defensive line altogether is better than Cincinnati's, but I think Corleone would be the best player on this Michigan defensive line. And I know that sounds crazy, and some people are going to come at me, and we got this on the defensive line, JR. You don't know this, that, whatever. That's fine. But Corleone is really, really good, and they held him in check for the most part.
Yeah.
But I do think if Michigan is able to get pressure on Dylan Raiola, we talked about it a little bit earlier, he is kind of loose with the ball a little bit when he's scrambling around. If they get a turnover or two out of that, that could be bad, obviously, for Nebraska. But I think this is a Nebraska team that's content with just kind of nickel and diming it down the field. Just get it to your playmakers, pick up the first down, go down the field. And unless Michigan gets a really good pass rush on Dylan Raiola, I don't know if they have the dudes to stop it.
Yep. I think that's the key to the game, right? Is not can they get pressure on Raiola, and how does Raiola manage the pressure? Because they'll send blitzes, right? Wink Martindale, he's kind of a crazy man, so he'll send Barham, he'll send.
But Holgerson's gonna be ready for it. I mean,
yeah,
Dana Holgerson's gonna have Dylan Raiola ready.
Yeah, but I think that's the big question. Like, this is a big Raiola game. Like, how does he handle the pressure? Right. So, like, Holgerson can prepare him as much as he wants. But is Raiola, like, how does Raiola do? Like, is he the 5-star guy that everybody thought he was out of high school? And I hate to put it that way, but I think at the end of the day, to me, it's really about how does he handle the pressure.
I think Michigan is going to experience some challenges on offense. I think that they're going to try to go for the deep ball a little bit too much, and like I said before, I don't love Bryce Underwood throwing the deep ball, and I think that they're going to get a little enamored with going to Bryce Underwood when maybe they should go to Justice Haynes a little bit more.
Yeah,
and I think that could be their downfall in this one, is if they try to trust in their freshman quarterback a little bit too much. Now, you look at the running back and quarterback situation, the running backs are better for Michigan than what Nebraska has, unfortunately. But I think that Dylan Raiola's experience, his ability to, like I said, kind of nickel and dime it down the field, and his okayness with that. I didn't love it against Cincinnati, but the more I look at this team and the more I look at the way they're structured, I'm okay with it more. Because I do think this is a Nebraska team that can sustain consistency throughout a game. I don't think that was who Nebraska was last year, 2 years ago under Matt Rule. I think this team is more consistent, and I think this team, if you get into a battle of who's going to make the mistake, I think Michigan's more likely to make the mistake than Nebraska is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So, all right. James says, how many mulligans does Raiola get? I don't think he's had that many this season, right? He had the one interception against Cincinnati? Or was that even an interception?
I forget, but like
he may have dropped it.
Well, I wonder if by mulligan does he mean like how many excuses does he get?
Oh, okay.
And like he was a freshman last year.
Yeah.
On a not great team last year.
He's the most efficient quarterback in college football this year. I mean, you look at the numbers, his efficiency rating is the best of all the teams or all the quarterbacks. So, again, they haven't, last 2 weeks they haven't played anybody, but still, I mean, we'll see. This is going to be a prove-it game for him in Nebraska, as much as Illinois and Indiana have a prove-it game for them. Yep. If Michigan is still the team that we think they are with the defense and the and Bryce Underwood and everything else, then they should win this game. But if they're not, Nebraska has the opportunity to kind of take that from them, right? Put all the belief in Nebraska if they win this game, because this is one of the hardest games on their schedule. If they win this one, don't look now, but this is probably a 10-2 Nebraska team if they beat Michigan here.
Yeah. Yeah, at worst.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 9-3, but 10-2 is,
it's pretty likely.
Yeah.
I really like. I like what you said about Dylan Raiola's efficiency, because I think the way I see this game playing out is they march down the field a lot on this defense, but they don't always come away with touchdowns. I think Michigan will actually have more big plays in this game, but I think Underwood will be more erratic. And I think that will lead to less scoring trips. And ultimately, I think Nebraska hits one more field goal at the end to win it, reversing the curse of Nebraska. I've got 26-24 Nebraska.
I like it. I got Nebraska winning as well. I have them beating Michigan 28-20. I have learned my lesson. I picked Michigan to beat Oklahoma on the road. Maybe I'll have to learn another lesson. If I do, I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm picking Nebraska in this one, 28-20, and I think the hype for Nebraska and Dylan Raiola gets a whole lot louder. I think this is a game where Dylan Raiola plays well enough that you start seeing him pop up on some, maybe not like Heisman top fives or something like that, but at least consideration. Like when you read the Heisman articles, there will be a part at the bottom that's like, don't look now, but Dylan Raiola, or he'll just be in the top 10 altogether. Just kind of depends on what kind of game he has. But if Nebraska wins this one, Dylan Raiola has a really good game. We're talking 2-3 touchdown passes, over 200 yards, throwing the ball and everything. I believe in Dana Holgorsen, man. I believe in Matt Rule. I believe in Dylan Raiola. I'm ready to get hurt again.
Don't say that. Don't say that, JR.
Yeah. So, all right.